I heard this. Tag friends.
Yeah. Is that on your Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Titty Powwow on
I'm hoping I do.
there? Let's see.
Yeah.
And then tag.
Damn.
Yep. And
And then that should be it.
then on mine, I'm gonna get a notification that says add this to my timeline because this is what I haven't been doing, so my friends haven't been seeing it while we're doing it.
Oh, okay. We're on here.
Um, let's see. Okay, add to timeline. Alrighty. I think we good. Only thing I'm worried about is this one in the middle as far as us
What?
both staying in the picture.
Oh, we good.
Okay.
We are good. We are
good. We are back. Man.
It is
Let's
Titty
see, how
Tuesday.
many is it?
Titty Tuesdays with the Titty Powwow.
It's Titty Tuesdays with the Titty Powwow.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So good to have you here on this beautiful Tuesday. It's your girl, Bernica Jones.
And Quisha Denise.
So,
today
we are on episode 15 of the Titty Powwow with, this episode is called Sleeping with the Enemy. And
Sleeping with the Enemy. Yeah,
we based this conversation off of the Netflix documentary, American Murder. The Chris Watts and Shanann Watts story. So it was a lot of buzz on Facebook, on social media about that story, which, I mean, that happened, in 2018?
Right.
But I guess since the documentary came out, people have really been talking about it. And when I watched it, it was just like very disturbing, but also very real. You know,
it was real. I think it was very disturbing because of the kids mostly. Like, not that killing your wife ain't like disturbing,
pregnant wife,
but a pregnant wife and some kids, he just took it too far. And really just thinking about how, like, she probably didn't even know that he was capable of that kind of stuff.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They was together, 8 years?
Yeah. So that's kind of where it comes from, is like, really just like we talk about all the time about like making choices and everybody being adults, everybody being grown. It's just, all about accountability, making choices, and just choosing wisely. Because there are some individuals out here in this world that are deeply disturbed.
Deeply.
Everybody isn't raised the same. So one thing that me and Quisha talk about, and I always talk about Joni's gym. So Joni's my mama. For all those that don't know about Joni,
I never met her, but I just love her through her because of how she talks about her.
She's just the originator, non grata, and just all the lessons that she has taught me in my life, as well as even in her death, things that I'm still remembering that she taught me always comes to mind, even when she's used to say, before you have children with somebody, you need to know who's their mama, who's their daddy, where they come from, what they about. And that's one of those lessons I kind of skipped over. Really just didn't take heed to much. Yeah. But definitely a learning lesson in my life and just with anybody. So I tell everybody, like, that's probably, and that's the biggest decision you will make in your life, who you choose to have children with.
Absolutely.
And that movie just put things in perspective, because even in that situation, what's even more disturbing about it is that they were together for so long before he lost it and, flipped. So it's just like, how well do you really know who you're sleeping with or who you're married to?
Well, I felt like it made it, I guess, a little bit less disturbing for me, because I was like, I guess to me it seemed like he got fed up with something, but I don't feel like the documentary gives enough like background information about him, his upbringing, or anything like to really see what triggered him or tipped him over. And so it really just looks like the cop said on there that he just like saw a new life that he wanted and was just like getting rid of his old life. And I feel like people discard, relationships, how people all the time for an illusion of what they could have with somebody else. That's how you end up sleeping with the enemy too, But some of the things that I noticed right off the bat is the guy that was talking about his behavior with the police.
The neighbor.
He was like, man, he never talks. Like, he's chatty, and not pay attention to how people like change up in their behavior. And he said he's very chatty, you know what I mean? And then I also feel like he never appeared to be sad. That was one of the things that really disturbed me. He never looked sad. He never cried. And it just seems like he thought that he was smarter than everybody else around him.
Right. Like I said, even in the
yes, Cheyenne, very scary.
Yes, it's just very crazy. Like even when he came back from the trip in the end after they had been in North Carolina, your kids have been in North Carolina for over a month. And I mean, it was just, to me, it was like on both parts, it was just kind of weird because it seemed very staged, even in the way when she's like, well, let me know when you're landing so I can video you and the girls, which I know that people do that so they can get the reaction.
Yeah.
But it was even her saying,
very scary. Yes, very scary. My bad.
It was even with her saying, he never kissed the kids when they ran up. He gave them a hug for the viewers, for the people to see, but it just wasn't an embrace that I would have felt that I would have had not seeing my kids, for over a month. So that let me know that there was a disconnect there. Right. And I'm trying to figure out where was that, because the pictures that she posted and stuff, it seemed like though, on the videos, home videos from years before, it was like, a lot of love and he was hugging with the kids, playing with them. But then it was after he came, and that's my thing. Like, where was the switch after he met old girl that he worked with? Because it's so common for people to meet people that they work with, especially when you work at factories and those type of places, because you're around these people too. I feel like for a long period of time, almost more than you're with your own family.
And I think also you build up relationships with people. You might vent to somebody about something you're going through, and that's how people build relationships, like just through relating about something.
Well, and I know people talk about they work husband, you know what I'm saying? It's jokingly, my work wife is a joke, but this was just like he was having a whole full-blown affair. And then, because I think they asked him in the end, like, how would you, had you not met this girl, would you not have fell in love with your wife anymore? So it's just crazy to think that another individual could come into your life after you've built this family, this home, this bond with this person, a whole marriage, and then a person could come in and just change the way you feel about your whole life that you built. That's the scary part of how he just discarded his old family, thinking that he was going to have a new family and a new life.
Yeah. Well, to me, it lets me know that he had already left his family mentally, for him to even engage in that thought, like to even think about, I'm about to go into something new with somebody different. I'm getting rid of my old family. Like, he was already not thinking about them prior to.
He had already disconnected.
And in my mind, the only thing I was just thinking is like, how puny could you be to not communicate like what you're unhappy about or just leave?
How much of a coward can you be to not just get a divorce or just leave, but to kill your pregnant wife and then to, like he said, annihilate your whole family?
He was on some Ray Carew shit. He didn't want to pay a child support for 3 kids.
He didn't want to have to deal with her outside of them being together. He knew that it probably wasn't going to be easy because she seemed like a very strong personality, and like she.
Well, they kind of described her as a bitch, like not just like a strong, like she seemed like she was, really bossy, and like, it kind of made me feel a little weird seeing him with her, because I feel like a man can't be a man in a situation with a woman who's very like dominant. Like, you're gonna be her do boy.
But a lot of times opposites attract. In a lot of situations, sometimes that kind of works for some people, is a more submissive, spouse, and then somebody that's a little bit more extroverted, a little bit more, assertive. But
I feel like it's a little light right here.
Either way, it's a little glare, but either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just like, even if she was a bitch, I think more than anything, because they were talking about in the on the show, even how they said that her friends and them were like she was bossy, and there's nothing wrong with being bossy. I think the bossiness came into the fact that he was very childish, weak. And she probably felt like she needed to take control of her family to make sure that things go the way they need to go, especially when you have children and you have a household and a life. You really can't have a mate that's showing up being childish, not taking things, seriously, or just not really stepping up like you leave. And then that just that goes back to me, a lesson I learned even with expectations. You can't expect everybody to bring to the table what you're going to bring to the table. Or also, if you're not raised the same, everybody's raised differently. So the things that you do and the things that you were taught in your household, that's why you have to know the person that you're dating the most important thing before you bring children into the world with them, because whether y'all work it out or not, or stay together or not, you're gonna have to co-parent with this person. And that right there will show you who that person is at the end of relationships. You really see who the person is that you've with. And when you share children with them, when you have to co-parent and make decisions, then you really see how they are.
Yeah. And even like, I don't know, like she was kind of self-made like prior to him, or at least had bought her own house, has like a really nice house too. It wasn't just no average home. She had a really nice house and stuff. And so I don't know if he came into her situation, because I feel like that was his first thing. That's one of the first things I put on there that was wrong, is he moved in with her. Like, I don't think a man should move in with a woman like to stay. Like, I think that they should get something together, or she should move in with him, because I feel like it creates a lot of power dynamics that are not good. Like, because if she is the woman, he's the man, like, it's almost like he has to be submissive to her in her home. So he can't speak on what he want to say or how he want to feel about something, because he's in her home.
But even but when you marry, all of that goes out the window, because even if it was the roles was reversed and she moved into his home, it's still going to be a power thing if the attitude and the person's heart ain't in the right place. Because the way I look at it is, if we're married, at the end of the day, if we've joined together, then my home is now your home. If we're married, if we've made that commitment.
But if you're a woman who thinks like it, there are some women is like, whatever, nigga, shut up, you in my house.
Well, I think what makes it even harder is because it's like they don't give you the real detailed, deep, in-depth story about her. Hey, Sydney. You don't have the deep, in-depth story of what happened. But also, it's like I see a lot of her even also playing the role, trying to be nice to him so that he would come home, or that he would, like, continue their life, because I guess she could feel him drifting away in that moment.
I did see, I mean, even through their text message, you could see she's like, And even with the sex thing, I felt like, because that was a big thing for her, is that he quit having sex with her. And so I was like, sometimes that's the way people connect, and they used to connecting like that, even if everything else is off. If sex is still on, then they can like be dismissive of all the other issues that they have. And maybe, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like they didn't give enough background information about him to support like how he got this way. That's what I'm saying. And so, because in my mind, it like when she was making videos, she's like, he's the best thing ever happened to me. Like she attributed like her own growth as a woman and as a person and having a family and stuff to him. But I feel like at some point he must have got tired of being nice to her. Or he was playing a role that he was not really ready for. Because even when I see him with the kids, he didn't look happy to be a daddy. Like he seemed like he would love on them and stuff, but you can look in his face and look like he's like tired of this shit.
Well, I think that's the part that is almost like very narcissistic. I know you don't think he's a narcissist,
but I think he's borderline. But if you look up the traits, they pretty similar.
Well, I think it was even the whole way of him like coming in her life at a time when she was going through lupus, she was really down, and a lot of the times when these type of personalities or people that have those type of narcissistic traits when they come in your life in a real low point, it's hard to differentiate if they're coming in being genuine and really being there for you, or if they're catching you in a vulnerable position and they're grooming you, you know what I'm saying, to
accept some bullshit.
Exactly. Or to fall in love. So then, like you say, the bullshit can come later, and then it's almost like
then it's like, oh, but and then you're looking for this person that you like, oh, well, I thought he loved me. I would never think he would do this to me. And you spend the whole relationship trying to get back what you had at first. And it's just,
and that ship has sailed.
Hey, and time is life. Don't waste it.
And that's one thing on even the, when I watched the Red Table Talk, when Jada Pinkett did her narcissist conversation, damn, I forgot the thought she was saying. She was saying a lot of the times too that it's not even, people take narcissism, use that word as like a descriptive word. Oh, they're a narcissist. Oh, they post too many pictures. Oh, they always in the mirror. Oh, they think so highly of themselves. Those are traits of a narcissistic person, but also narcissistic people can be very dangerous. That's when you have a personality disorder, is when the dangerous part comes in.
And that's why I think he definitely had like a personality disorder. I feel like what happened is we didn't get enough background information like for me to diagnose him. You know what I'm saying? Like where I would be like, okay, he has abuse, he has neglect, he has this, because those are the things that feed into personality disorders and that kind of that sense of entitlement. I deserve like this for myself because I've been through this, and this, you know.
I also feel like maybe even his entitlement could be, I deserve a new life because of of what she put me through. You know, of him now wanting to victim blame and be the victim, because that's exactly what he did in the end, is blamed her for the death of those kids when she didn't even do it. Like, you know, like blame, like created a whole narrative. And I think that's the scary part, is that he premeditated this whole thing and then created a whole story to put it off on her, to victim blame, to even in her death, to make her look like she was the bad person.
He ain't shit.
But that, I'm telling you, it happens more often than not that people do that victim blaming stuff, or that they'll do something and then turn it around to try to, I think what it is with narcissists too, they go at any end. They will go at any ends to cover their lies, to create a narrative that they want to tell other people,
well, that's why I was trying to
shine the light.
Borderline. People who are borderline can be compulsive liars, and they create scenarios to benefit them, like to look like they are a good guy, to look like they are good parents, to even if they going and doing something, they'll lie about the way that everything happened just to get attention, anything. So but I felt like with him, I'll tell you what, if we talking about like differential diagnosis, what I'm talking about as far as narcissism versus borderline, he didn't seem to have that inflated sense of self where he thought like he was better than other people, or you can't, you know, like some people who are narcissistic, they believe that they only deserve to be in elite circles. You know what I'm saying? These lower people are beneath me, you know, and they usually, the way that her family felt about him initially, I felt like he had to present as a really good guy. And so, I mean, at the wedding and stuff, they like, oh, you know, I'm so grateful for, they was like, the daddy was grateful, the brother was grateful. It's like, he had to be lit. From the beginning, he had to be lit as a man.
But I also think there was probably some insecurity there too, where it's almost like he was playing this role.
Oh, he was.
I see that post all the time.
He was playing a role.
I see that post all the time that says people like the idea of you but can't accept the reality of you, and that's what it was. She was beautiful. She had her own stuff going on, her own
she was too
money.
Dominant.
She was too much for him, but he wanted that, but he couldn't hold on to it. And then I think too, a lot of it came even with him losing. It's directed at men because we're talking about this case where it's a man. Somebody said, "Why is this directed at men?" Just because it was the man in the story, but it can be men, women, whoever the person is that in the situation. We're just talking about this particular documentary. But even still, like, he was kind of chubby when they met, so he was kind of fat, but he had got confidence after he lost those weight. He's getting attention, and the same admiration that she probably had for him in the beginning of the relationship when they were dating and courting and everything was all good, probably had kind of not really went out the window, but had probably dwindled a little bit now because we have kids together. We have responsibilities and things, and all that cute shit goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? Not really out the window, but we got more important things. So the ego, she probably didn't stroke his ego the way that this new girl came into the picture stroking his ego. And I'm telling you, that can cause people to, you know, really rethink their whole situation because they're not getting it.
Something that's a lot of people maybe didn't pay attention to was like his sister and his mama didn't like her. And I think a lot of times when a girl is not liked by the sister or the mother, they start to think, oh, well, they just this, they don't like me. No, they know their brother, they know their son, they know that this is probably not the best situation for him based on his personality.
But they also said,
and stuff
but like they also said that they felt like that she was taking him away from them, and that is always a lot of times, not just with mothers. I mean, it's with mothers and
Black
sisters,
women,
Black women, but even in any dynamic, because they were white, where they feel like they want to hold on to their son, and I think that's a lot of times what creates, you know, men or people that have narcissistic, and I'm saying men just because I've dealt with men that have those personalities, and I've seen it into where it's like two different ends of the spectrum. Either it came from them being too coddled as children, or too as boys, or they're just made to be up on this high pedestal, so that they have these really, like you say, inflated sense of ego because they've been groomed as a kid or raised as a child.
And then they be like the king of their family.
Yeah, the king of their family. Or they can be neglected, abused, abandoned by their mother, and you still kind of get a similar personality because it's almost like two extremes.
Yeah.
To where they either are the insecure type because they didn't have a mother, so they have this, relationship with women, or it's they were, too caught or whatever, so they can never, no woman could never live up to their mother, to the standards that they gave, that they was raised in.
Yeah. But I just feel like with him, I feel like when you see
titty boys, hey, that's another thing. When I say titty boys,
Drake.
Wait a minute.
No, it's a titty boy.
So it's two types of titty boys. It's the titty boys who, were given the titty and they were given everything.
Boy.
Or I always say, because I take it off of, I love Bad Boys too. When Martin says, your mama neglected you to tit, talking to Will Smith, and that's true too. It's like when the neglect
you needed,
you didn't get what you needed,
and now you don't know how to give that to a person. Or like with him, he played this role. He's like acting like he's just this great guy, but really he's not. He's definitely hiding. Like I feel like I saw him as puny. I saw him as weak and like afraid to speak out with her. And so he just went along to get along. And I feel like when he couldn't take it no more, instead of being a man and being like, you know what, I don't like this no more, I don't like the way it feels, and which that's what he said was the reason that he choked her out. He said he told her that the relationship wasn't, basically benefiting him or whatever. He wanted to he talked to her about separating, and then
she said you'll never see your kids again.
She said you'll never see your kids again. And so if I choked you out because you told me I'll never see my kids again, then why would I kill my kids?
Well, and that's my thing, because see, that's the part that makes it very hard for me to believe that it was like an impulse thing or that he snapped, because like he even said himself, I drove for 45 minutes out to the site with the kids they were still alive, holding each other while the mother was dead on the floor. But you drove that whole way.
Truck, I think.
Well, he said they was on the floor and the girls was like sitting right there, like holding each other. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just like, you drove that long way. Why wouldn't you 45 minutes to drop? Like you could have done anything in that time. You know what I'm saying? You could have dropped them off on the side of the road and let somebody else find them, rather than killing them. And not only killing them, but killing them while they were alive. I think that's what even makes it more brutal, which I guess he probably didn't feel like he could like strangle them, kill them first before he disposed of their bodies. So that was the only way for them to do it.
How do y'all get these inside a man's mind assumptions? Okay. So
she's a therapist, first and foremost.
I am. So I pay attention to a set of traits, but basically it was a lot of the manipulation that was involved in how he went about things. Now I do think he snapped, because I do think he loved his kids. He was with them for years. He was loving on them for years. I really think that he killed his kids because they knew he killed his wife.
Right. Exactly.
I feel like he could not conjure up a story without them.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, because either way he would have went to jail. But it was also, even in the thing, it said that it was almost, I guess, I don't know if they were talking about sociopath, but it's always premeditated. So I just felt like from the moment he was with that girl, he already had a thing in mind. And I will tell you from personal experience, I feel like once people have that switch in their mind that they no longer want to be in that situation, there's no turning them back. And there's a switch, and you can see it in their eyes when it's no longer the same, and when they've already like made their decision to move on. But it's just, I guess people handled that in different ways. So I don't think he knew from the moment he started dating that girl that he was going to kill his kids, maybe. But he did say it though. He said it when on the documentary, that he said, when I woke up that day, I knew what was going to happen that day. He knew it was going to happen, because immediately after that, he called the school and re-enrolled his kids. He called the realtor to sell his house, and he called his girlfriend.
Well, I was thinking, they basically narrated the story.
He said the chick knew and lied too. They were both whack ass narcissists.
Yeah,
who got caught up, which is even better.
And
usually they find each other in the end.
Hey, whack people find whack people. Because when you vibrating low, like you only gonna choose like low vibrational shit. And so it doesn't, monsters meet in the dark. Like people who are in dark places meet other people who are in dark places. Who is going to be dealing with somebody that's in a dark place when they in the light? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not what Drake say. She said, that's what makes me think he's weak, that it was premeditated and he went through it, right?
Yeah.
But I think he thought he could have a life on the other side of that.
Well, I think what it is too is the part of me that almost makes me think narcissistic is the fact that you feel like you're going to get away with something. The fact that you think that you're going to get away with it. The fact that he really thought that he was going to have time to sell his house and, start a new life with this girl. And like, I guess within all of this, he got locked up within 3-4 days. Hey, oh shoot.
Yep. What did it do? No.
What's yours doing? Nothing. I'm sorry. We back.
We kind of got disconnected for a second. Okay.
But yeah, I felt like he knew that. Well, he just really thought that he was going to get away with it. I think that's the thing that makes me think of narcissistic people is that even with like R. Kelly, like you kept on doing this shit, and you thought you was going to get away. Like they really feel like so entitled, or really not entitled, but invincible, that he thought that he was going to get away with it, or that they was going to believe his story and go along with it.
He's smarter than everybody. And one of the things that really disturbed me is that he allowed like when that girl was like, well, she said something. Well, his father asked him, did she hurt them? After he said, I don't want to protect her. Him saying, I don't want to protect her could have been the mistress. You know what I'm saying? It could have been the mistress. But anyway, he rolled with that and tried to make it like he was trying to reconnect. Yeah. There we go. Why did it do that?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. Did it end?
It did. This is so stupid.
No, and that was the only one. That's the one we were sharing everything on. Okay. You gonna do another live?
Yeah. Okay, so I saved it. Fuck a duck.
Ain't that crazy?
Okay, so now how do I go back?
Go back to your page and start another one. You can't open this live back up.
But how do I go back to my page? No, what is yours doing? Is yours not doing anything?
No. Here, hold on. Let me go live.
This is making me so mad. So
I think when you said cancel or finish or something, you must have pushed up.
No, it just kept like redoing that, like rebuffering.
Yeah, it looks like it's just we having some issues with
I feel like we still talking.
We definitely still on her because we on there. I thought we was on her. Are we on her?
I don't know, but it's making me mad.
Maybe we not. Hold on.
No, yours ain't even going.
What?
You should log on Facebook.
I thought it was.
No, you're not.
Okay. Hold on. We done got messed up. Hold on. We about to finish this up though. Hold on, let me get it
I'm
back.
just trying to figure out how to even get off of mine.
I can't believe it did that. Hold on. I'm about to tag us both from here. It's gonna be all good.
But I'm about to get mad because now I keep saying save, but then I'm like delete. Cancel. Okay.
Go live.
I'm so mad about this. Why is my phone even doing this?
Okay. Where we at? Let me tag you. How did you tag me when you tagged me on the
I'm trying to start it again on my phone. I don't even know what's going on.
No, I was saying, how did you tag me on Facebook?
It just popped up automatically.
Oh.
I know. Technical difficulties suck.
Shit happens.
I know, but it makes me mad.
I know, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts when it's not together.
We got to find somebody to record for us again.
We got to, because well, no, I feel like we could do it. We just have to do it in a studio. Because we keep on trying to get all these labs going and it just be crazy. Are we on her? Yeah. You tag me?
It didn't ask me to.
I'm up here trying to figure out how do I go live. Okay. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I am live. I am live. Hey, y'all.
I was saying, trying to reconnect.
Who is it? Who's on her? Okay.
I don't know. But
let me see. We have to. I don't know how to tag. That's what
Okay,
I'm.
so-
Oh, here we go. No. Is it share a post on a new